We're going to start off today's video a bit differently. Well, actually, I don't know how different it is. I feel like I usually start off with an absurd or stupid question from left field, and then you guys answer it in the comments, and then there's a bit of a banter going on, right? This is how I communicate with my community, right? Anyways, shut up. Who is your favorite bald man? I said shut up like you could hear me, but I digress. Who is your favorite bald man? Yeah, you heard me right the first time. Is it Vin Diesel, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Terry Crews? Maybe it's Voldemort. Or Jeff Bezos if you love, Amazon very much. I don't really know. But out of all those bald men, you know who would make the top of your list and mine as well? A bald Robin Songs. Now, why would a bald Robin Songs ever occur? This dude he's an old man, but he's not that old. He's not old enough where he's losing his hair, right? So, why would he ever go bald? Well, it turns out that him and Emily Wang have a bit of a bet, a bit of a wager going on, if you will, where Emily bet Robin Songs that if she can hit rank 1 in North America, Robin will shave off his entire head. And surprisingly enough, Robin said, "Fuck yeah, you're never gonna hit. I'll do it." So where's Emily right now? Emily turns out that she's right now rank 20 of North America, and she's actually steadily climbing and getting very, very close to rank 1 of North America. And in this video today, we're going to go over one of her games where she is on her road to rank 1 of NA, where she played just absolutely fantastically. And quite honestly, if you never even watched any of Emily's streams before or her gameplay, it's definitely great to watch from time to time because she definitely is one of NA's best players. Maybe not the cream of the crop, but she's definitely up there. Anyways, let's get on to the video. Here we go. We are now in Emily Wang's game. The Wangster, the Wang G, the Wang to Wang them all. Dude, I don't know how to. Okay, you know, fuck it. We're keeping that in. Anyways, listen, Emily Wang, terrific fucking player. She's literally actually like consistently top of the ladder. Not like super top, but like easily like top 100 almost like consistently. I don't think I've ever seen her hit rank 1 before, but she's actually incredibly close and really trying to challenge herself to try to hit rank 1 this set. And I mean, she's doing a fantastic job. Currently, at the time of recording this, she's at 1313 LP. She's at number 20. Number 20. Out of everybody in North America, she's top 20, which is insane. Which is crazy because when you think about it, if you ever like keep up with tournaments or esports in the TFT scene, you might know that Emily Wang actually doesn't pop up very often. She's definitely a contender, but she's not been a very consistent tournament showing player. So I'm really hoping that this set is really like her training arc, and then set 9 comes in and she's about to like throw punches. She's about to go crazy when set 9 drops. Anyways, let's talk about this. We're already starting off with an underground start. Already one of the best openers. Any economy opener or any of these cash out openers at the higher elos, definitely some of the best that you can take. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But anyways, talking about the augments here. I mean, there isn't much to talk about. Admin crest bullshit. Enemy crest is bullshit. Electric charge, it's alright. I mean, electric charge is always like a good general augment if you're playing a normal board, but when we're playing underground and we're trying to incentivize ourselves to play for a loss streak, or maybe we're trying to play around, electric charge in general, by the way, it's a good general augment, but if you don't even have any tanks, we have a Vi 1, no tank items, it's probably not the way to go. So definitely a reroll option here, and even though it's gold, it sucks, but we're gonna do it. Calculated loss, combat training, second win, always calculated loss in this spot. I mean, like we're underground, like, please, like, you have to be like bronze as fuck to not take calculated loss in this spot. Anyways, calculated loss, so we take it up, we pick it up. Obviously, the best choice to take here. You could slam JG here, but JG in general is just a pretty awful slam. TG is okay, but then you're kind of wasting components. But you could also argue that the underground cash out would give you extra items. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things you could take away from this. In general, though, if you are trying to lose streak, you want to not level, or you want to not slam items. That way you can make sure you can ensure that you get that 5 loss all the way into Crux. But it is also important to know that even though we are playing calculated loss, you can also still try to minimize your losses by still leveling to 4 on 2-1. That's totally okay as well. I don't think she got a full scout of the entire lobby, but if she did, it's very possible that the entire lobby is actually trying to strongboard, and if that is the case, then you definitely don't want to level. I think she did definitely see somebody with metabolic accelerator though, so she's definitely contested for her 5 loss streak. Sorry, I can't fucking count. Going against the stereotypes, you know what I mean? Because I'm Asian. Anyways, terrible joke. All right, moving on. So what's the game plan really, right? What's the game plan? How much are we trying to catch out here? What is the takeaways that we should, keep in mind when we're playing Underground, right? Like I said before earlier, Underground is one of the best early game openers. It's a very high skill ceiling opener though, because you have to be able to get your pivot off very quickly. You have to understand the direction of your board, and in general, you need to understand also, you know, risk calculation, understanding how much can you risk, how much HP can you save, how much HP do you need to know, and this actually changes between every player. And what I mean by how much HP to know, rather, I didn't finish my sentence because I'm a moron, but how much HP can I have left over that I know I'll be able to get a successful pivot off? So what do I mean by this? So I'm not actually a great Underground player. In fact, if you ever watch my streams, every time I take Underground, I'm pretty sure I average a 6th. I am pretty fucking bad at Underground. But those who are good at Underground are very good at understanding, hey, like, I can only risk this much HP because I know it's going to take me at least 2 rounds to get a full pivot off correctly. And for most players, even at the top of TFT, unless you have a very strong direction with your Underground units, it's very difficult to get a very effective and a very, very strong pivot once you get that cash out. And like, let's say, for example, you cash out at like 30 HP. A lot of really, really great players, a lot of top tier players will be able to take 30 HP. They know they can go down all the way to 30 and still be able to get that pivot off within 1 turn, or at least most of it off within 1 turn, that even with 30 HP, they'll know that they'll be able to, you know, manage it enough that they'll be able to cash out in a way where they'll be able to just win streak from there on out, right? There's also times with Underground where you need to make sure that if you are going to cash out, make sure it makes sense. What I mean by this is that there are some times when you're playing Underground, you just cash out early. Even though you have even though you have like that early loss streak or whatever, sometimes cashing out at 2 makes sense, or cashing out even at 1 makes sense, because maybe you're just losing way too much HP, the pace of the lobby is too high, and you might see even some of the best players, they just take the Underground because they know their board is weak. Underground early, 5 loss, take the 10 gold from Heist 1 from like 2-5, 2-6, and just start playing from there. And then by doing so, you're sort of just generating this economic advantage that you sacrificed your HP for, which, you know, you would have lost anyways. But even if that's the case, you know, at least that you actually have some level of an advantage that you're able to accrue, even though you only played Underground for like, what, like 3 or 4 rounds. Here we're seeing, though, she's going all in, all out, and partially that is because of the calculated loss augment. It's just, there's such an incentive to lose in the early game, and Underground also promotes it as well, that there's no reason to, you know, try to win streak or try to cash out early. It doesn't really make any sense because we want to start winning later in the game. Calculated loss, by the way, is one of those augments that you have a lot of value out throughout the early game in general, but throughout the late game, it's almost like you're playing down a whole augment. So you really want to make sure that if you're going to lose, make sure those losses are not as impactful as they would be in the later game, which is why, again, we're seeing that Emily's trying to go all out with the Underground cash out. Typically with Underground cash outs, though, I will say 3 to 4 is a typical heist cash out. Anything further than that, you're really pushing your luck, or maybe you're high rolling out of your mind, but it's very difficult to execute. Anyways, here we are going to the 3-2 augments. Here we're 50 gold, 6 loss. We're generating a lot of money, which is very, very great and great for our economy. And here, as we can see, that we are taken into an immediate 2-3-3 hero augment. Now, if it were me, I'd be pissed. If it were me, I'd be pissed getting a 2-3-3 here, because there's no 2 cost or 3 cost unit I want to keep on my board on the end game unless I'm playing Spell Slingers. So for me, maybe I would try to find, like, I mean, I don't even know. Like, you can't even get Burning Spirit in this spot because your augments aren't tailored for it, which is, again, one of the reasons why Hero Augments is fucking dookie. But here, she actually makes a really interesting choice. Would you reroll these? Would you want to see all the options available? But, like, she actually, you know, I'm just going to let the clip play for itself. Keep in mind, she has a blue buff JG slammed. And surprisingly enough, looks at her board for a second, and then she just goes, just take Power Grid. You should just take Power Grid. Power Grid. Man, Power Grid, what the fuck? Power Grid's an interesting choice. Why is Power Grid an interesting choice? Power Grid, let me just look up the stats for you. Power Grid at 3-2 is a 4.66. 4.66. And Masters Plus is it's slightly better, surprisingly. But 4.6, I mean, that's an augment you're not very happy to take ever. But she takes Power Grid here because of 2 reasons. One, she takes it because she has blue buff JG slammed, and she has calculated loss. What does this mean? Blue buff JG are 2 of Sona's best items, I think. But also, I mean, blue buff for sure. I don't know about JG. But on top of that, this means that she also thinks that with the calculated loss that she has as a gold augment, it's possible that she can maybe just try to hit a lot of Sonas as she's trying to level while still lose streaking. But as we can see here, she's already 46 HP. She doesn't have that much HP to work with. even with calculated loss. So at a certain point, she's going to stop losing. She's going to stop getting those free rerolls. So even if she's trying to hit that early Sona 2, it can be a little difficult. So here, as we can see, it's also possible she's planning for a level 7 instead. Like playing around a level 7 board because her HP is so low. So maybe she's just stuck rolling on 7, trying to hit the Sona 3 early with their calculated loss, and then try to go from there. But again, like I said before, Underground, you really need to try to measure out your cash outs, right? Is a Heist 4 cash out going to win us out this game? Or are we just going to go 8th? This is one of the problems with Underground too, right? Depending on your cash out, you need to understand, like, am I going to win out with this cash out or not? Because if you can't, there's no point in even taking it because you're just going to lose anyways, right? So Emily is doing, basically, she's just playing it by ear. And this is like one of the hardest things with Underground is like you see the cash out and you just go, can I win with this? Can I not? Right? And so, you know, again, it's really difficult from this spot. As we can see, she's 2 away. She has now the Sona 2. And surprisingly enough, she 3-5s and she rolls down here. And then instead of trying to stabilize her board a bit more, she actually goes and basically rolls down quite a bit. Hits the Sona 2, which is very great. Finds the Viego for the hearts. But now she's playing 5 Underground, even though she's 8 out of 10. And again, it's kind of odd because 8 out of 10 Underground, that means, you know, with 5 Underground, every loss is 5 locks. So you're actually going overboard with the losses here. She's 13 out of 10 here, but maybe she's trying to cash out as soon as possible in case this cash out is not good enough. Here, as we can see, we get the Stone Plate, which is incredible. This is one of the best Radiant items of the game. But NA Gold, though. This is a cash out. Even though you're 39 HP, a lot of players would probably cash out at around 39, 40 HP. Because that's around the time, because let's say you lose 1 or 2 because you're trying to pivot. At that point, you can try to win streak from there on out, right? But this is a cash out that isn't going to win you out. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. If you take this cash out, you're going to go 8th. Even though the Verpela, I don't know how the fuck they pronounce that shit. But that Stone Plate's really fucking good. But you know that she's not going to win out with this. So what she's going to do, she's going to continue Heist here. And she's going to drop to even lower HP. Now, part of the reason why she rolled down so heavily at 3-5 was because she was looking for some upgrades. But also looking for some level of stability. So that the losses don't hurt as much as they currently are. Again, she's been losing like 10 HP, 8 HP, like 12 HP sometimes in some of these fights. And, you know, these losses are just too deep. They're cutting in too hard. So as we can see here, though, she does win. So she's 6 out of 10. What you can do in this spot is that you can actually drop the Kale in the next fight and then still try to accrue that loss, but also put just enough power into your board that you're still going to lose, right? But again, mitigating the loss as much as possible. As you can see here, we're going into Wolves. And so what is the game plan, right? We took Power Grid, we took Sona's Carry Augment, but we're missing a lot of Sonas. 6 Sonas away, and we have 20 gold at level 7. It's going to be hard to try to win out from this spot with a Sona 3. So, like I said before in a previous video, we don't always have to sort of hard focus and tunnel vision into our Hero Augment. Just because we took the Power Grid, just because we took the Sona Augment, doesn't mean that we have to win out with Sona 3. We can take it for tempo, and instead tempo ourselves into a fast 9 and then try to play from there. And again, Sona 2, these 2-star 3-cost units are actually really, really strong. Don't sleep on them. A lot of people, they hit a TF, they hit an early Nico or whatever, and then they just tunnel vision on playing that instead, and then they just don't even think about trying to play around a 2-star 3-cost carry that'll probably carry you all the way to like stage 5, to be completely honest. You have a lot of time. 2-star 3-costs are very, very strong. But anyways, here we are. 11 out of 10. We gotta quickly choose our Hero Augment here, because if we don't, we will have not enough time to pivot out, because it's very likely we're cashing out here with 25 HP. So what does she take here? Thrill the Hunt, Battle Mage, second win. Second win has the highest cap in general. Thrill's okay, but you need to kill them, which is the problem. So second win, you always get that value out of it every single round. We're going to take second win here every single time. Every single time. Her cash out here is like, what, like 80 gold? People don't value gold enough for their underground heists. For me personally, I did the same thing. I never valued gold heists. I always thought, oh, 80 gold is fucking bullshit. Why would I ever take this shit? 80 gold is really good. It's a very strong cash out. What does 80 gold mean? What does gold mean in general? Gold in general means power your board, right? Gold in general it's just potential. All it represents is potential. You ever take science? You know, potential energy versus kinetic energy, right? Gold is just potential energy waiting to be used and turned into kinetic energy, right? It's the same thing. You're just powering your board. I hope this makes sense, by the way. If this is flying over your head, then forget it. The point is, when you have a lot of gold and you are in a position where you need to power up your board, obviously you can either push levels or you could try and roll down and try to hit your units. So what does she do here? She levels to 8, not 9, levels to 8 here, because if she levels to 9, she won't have enough money. I don't even know if she had enough money to go level 9. But she levels to 8 here, just enough to power up her board, and then rolls down. Sorry, she levels to 8 so that she can hit all the units that she's looking for, 2-star them, and then try to go level 9, right? You're basically expediting how strong your board would be during stage 4. That's what heist is. You're basically, if you can think about like power spike. I don't know if you ever watched my you know nothing about economy video. Mortdog retweeted it. You should go watch it. But your board, the strength of your board over time, spikes in power, right? We have all these little spikes. It's like a little graph. It's like a line graph, and it keeps going up and up and up. Underground is really interesting. Where that little board, if you will, that little graph, the spikes tiny. Very tiny, like tiniest little spikes ever, right? Tiny, up. Your board's pursuing a little bit. You got Kale, you got Ezreal, you got Samira, whatever. And then heist hits, boom, you have a large ass spike. This is where like the fun comes from out of Underground, right? That large spike and being able to pivot and turn your board into something that will not only be stronger, but not significantly, but at least ahead of the lobby, and then you try to maintain your tempo from there. A lot of people kind of assume that once you play Underground, you get a large cash heist, or whatever the fuck it is, right? You get a large heist, you get a large cash out, you just spike so heavily that you just win the game. That's not how it works. Instead, what ends up happening is that you spike enough that you're saying, okay, now I'm ahead of the pace of the lobby, but now you gotta maintain this difference throughout the rest of the game, and sometimes it'll shift a little bit, right? Which is why we want some HP to work with, some HP to be left over whenever we're playing Underground, because we know for a fact that even though it's nice that we're here now, and maybe the rest of the lobby, the pace of the lobby is here, it's very possible at a certain point that, you know, I can't keep this advantage forever, right? You can't win streak throughout the entire game most of the time. So instead, what ends up happening, somebody might spike for a little bit, maybe a round or two ahead of you, you lose one against them, but that's fine, and then you spike your board again, and then there you go, and then you end up winning out, right? And that's what Underground's all about. So here, what we can see here is that, again, Emily didn't hit a lot of Sonas, and in fact, she hit so little Sonas that it doesn't really make sense for her to try to go for Sona 3, but it's interesting because she's not even trying to go Fast 9 here. She's not trying to go Fast 9. I think a lot of players would try to go Fast 9 in this spot, and instead what she's doing is she's rolling at 8. And she's not, by the way, she's not 50 gold, roll a little bit, stay 50 gold, roll a little bit, stay 50, whatever. No, that's not what she's doing here. She's doing something that's really interesting here. First, Urgot on her board. Ooh, she has a crab on her board. Why is that important, dude? I put Urgot on my board all the time. Shut up. This is so good. Why is it so good? Heart Urgot is a fucking beast. It's a menace. Why is it so good? It's so good because, again, Urgot's dredge scales with AP, and Hearts, the more they cast, the more AP the entire team gets. So she's being really smart with not only flexing whatever units that she hit in order to put onto her board, but she's also doing a really good job of putting on units that really benefit from having a heart. Aatrox's healing scales with AP. Fiddlesticks, as you know, with Corrupted Souls plus the CC, just a great splash unit in general, but he's also able to accrue an insane amount of damage over time. So, because of all the hearts stacking, right? And then on top of that, Urgot is dredging infinite money. So what Emily is doing, instead of staying 50 gold, and then just slow rolling a little bit down to 50 every single time, what she's doing, she's actually rolling down to 30, which is a bit more aggressive, but Urgot's dredge and yada 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 is probably able to sort of accrue her a lot of economy, bring it back up to maybe 40, maybe even 50. She's not losing, she's losing what, like 1 or 2 extra gold to roll down an extra like 10, 20 per round. This is some smart ass shit. She's being, this is what they call a girl boss, right? Slay. She's doing terrific. And here, what's crazy about it is that even when you're rolling at 8, what's great about it too is that you can hit all your 4-cost upgrades. You can look for the 2-star legendaries as well, because, I mean, the odds aren't great for 2-star legendaries, but again, she's now at a certain point where, because she's been rolling down to like 30, down to like 40 every single round, she is fighting the Sonas. And actually, Sona 3 is definitely a legitimate possibility from the spot. Now, I will say though, she does have a Pantheon 1 on her board, which is a little awkward. I mean, she is playing 6 Heart though, don't get me wrong, she's doing fantastic job, Syndra and everything. But look at this. The Urgot's just dredging up so much money, so much items. So even though that power grid may not be a great augment to take at times, she's doing a really good job of balancing, you know, the power of her board, staying at level 8, knowing not to push 9, and staying above tempo. Look at her. She's on a 25 win... Not a 25 win streak. I mean, no, she's not God. But she's like, what? She's like a 6 win streak here? 6 win streak winning out? This is also a guaranteed top 5. Almost a guarantee. I mean, maybe Lil Joe's playing out of their mind, but I mean, I kind of doubt it. look at this, just keeps farming items, and she understands that going level 9 doesn't mean much. And in fact, that she has more value and more opportunities to spike her board by staying at level 8 and rolling for these upgrades, rolling for these other units, and trying to find the Sona 3 as well, which is probably one of the biggest spikes that she can get for her current board. But as we can see now, it's getting to a point where, what are we rolling for now? What are we looking for, right? We have a Sona 200 bench, we have an Aatrox 200 bench. What are we looking for from this point on, right? Well, quite honestly, Sona 3. But surprisingly enough, actually Aatrox 3 is in the cards as well. And why is Aatrox 3 even an option at this point? The reason why Aatrox 3 is an option at this point, and you should actually take note of this as well in your own games, but whenever you are playing around any type of 4 costs, pick 1 or 2. Pick 1 or 2 you notice that you've been naturaling a lot. Just hold them. She could have made a lot of economy by selling the Aatrox and having even more money to roll and try to hit the Sona 3. As you can see, she's still like, what, she's 2 off? Oh, I'm sorry, she's 1 off. But even though she's still 1 off, and you did see her roll down and dig deep because she's trying to look for that last Sona because it really spikes your board. Whenever you're playing, again, let me just bring it back to the original point. Whenever you're playing around a 4 cost, just hold them. Because there's going to be games where you just hit the 3-star 4 cost. So here, surprisingly enough, she doesn't even hit the fucking Sona 3 first. She hits the fucking Aatrox 3 first, which is crazy. And here, as we can see, she's still digging, trying to find that Sona 3. But quite honestly, she didn't even have to dig at this point. In fact, what she could have done here, this is a bit of a mistake, what she could have done is instead just start to save up and just go 9. Now, you could argue that, like, well, why would she ever try to do that? Like, she's just 1 off Sona 3. True. But Aatrox 3 is actually such a unit, there's no need to do so. And there's no rush. If she lost, or she's scouting the lobby and notices that, hey, somebody is so goddamn strong, I need the Sona 3 ASAP, sure. But that's not the case. You have a 3-star 4 cost on your board. Sure, it's an Aatrox, but it's Heart Aatrox with the fucking Titans and infinite healing, and, like, it's got some really great items, plus second wind, right? And with the healing scaling off of the hearts here, like, her board's just too strong. Like, there's nothing that anybody can do to, contest her at all. There's no point in trying to, level 4, 9, or trying to just roll down and try to hit the Sona 3. And I think at this point she's noticed, like, there's no reason to just keep rolling for the Sona 3. She has Aatrox 3. And in fact, she actually maybe could have even hit level 9 here had she not just pushed all the way down to 0 trying to hit that Sona 3. But here, as we can see, she's actually rolling down a little aggressively. Why is she rolling down a little aggressively? It's because she had scouted the lobby a little bit and noticed that the only person that maybe even has a chance of beating her out might be Kurum here because he's 64 HP and he's holding on to 2-star Nikos. So what she's doing is she's just going to try to roll down a little bit. I think it's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Like antsy? She's a little scared. Because, if Kurum hits Nico 3, now the game isn't as free as we thought it was, right? So it's arguable that you could also roll down and try to find the Nikos as well. And, because, again, you're also rolling for the Sona 3 as well. It makes a lot of sense. But I think she understands that he has 0 money, which you can see on the counter, right? He has 0 money right here on the right-hand side, like right over here. 0 money. He's not hitting that anytime soon. If he finds a Nico 3, he'd have to hit like 3 in one shot. It's almost impossible, right? So, in fact, she knows that it makes way more sense to just go level 9. So, she's going to be smart as shit. Just go level 9. And then from level 9, try to roll for the, I don't know, maybe any 2-star Fiddlesticks. Maybe the 3-star Viego even. I think she kept selling Viegos, but like maybe 3-star Viego, whatever. She's even, I don't know if you can see this, she wrote, can you stop wasting the time? Can you FF already? No. Don't, okay, listen. I don't believe in God, but I believe in karma. Alright? Don't be a dickhead. I don't give a shit. Just don't be a dickhead because it never pays off well, right? You only look like an idiot whenever you try to be a dickhead. It doesn't matter where you are. This applies everywhere in life, right? You're a dickhead to the barista. Turns out that barista just was having a really bad day, and then after you left the cafe, they just stabbed you in the back. Wouldn't have happened if you weren't a dickhead. It happens sometimes, right? So, like, just don't be a dickhead. And as we can see here, even though Kurum is bleeding out, don't get me wrong, he's also looking for an out as well, right? And, his out originally was Nico 3, and as we can see here, he is 2 off of Nico 3, so he's getting kind of close. But that isn't technically his only out. He hits the Leona 2 here as well. Now, what would you do from Kurum's spot? What would you do from Kurum? He's level 9, right? So what would you do from his spot? There are a couple things we can do from this spot, from Kurum's perspective. We can either try to keep rolling for the Nico 3 and keep Donkey rolling trying to hit it. Or, and this is what I believe you should do. In general, I think he should just try to accrue his economy as much as he can until he's 1 life. and then just send it. He's also playing a bit antsy here, trying to hit that Nico 3 as soon as possible, but there's no rush. There's no rush. He also doesn't have any upgrades he's looking for in general. So, actually, teching in the Leona 2 here is really, really smart on his end as well, because the Leona 2 is actually one of those few units that can actually deal with the Aatrox as well. Sorry, I paused the video because I thought I was making a very large and grand point, but no, I'm just talking out of my ass. But, I mean, we talked about this before with the Garchomp video too, right? Like, in the Garchomp video, if you don't remember that one, he was playing, he just Fast 9 Bill Gates, but then his opponent was playing a 3-star Gnar, where had he just teched on a Leona 2 on his board, he actually could have won out the lobby, but instead he ends up going second. Crumb's doing a really good job of playing around his win conditions and trying to play around this Leona instead. Maybe even around 2 Leona 2s to just try to just fucking like solar beam the shit out of the board and then try to make sure that you know, the Leonas can clean out the Aatroxes and clean out the Sonas, because she has a lot. Not only is Emily in such a crazy spot, but she has so much HP on her board, which is insane. Right, so we're looking for extra Leona 2s to throw onto our board if we recur them. Maybe we're trying to look for the Nico 3 as well. Again, I don't really agree with the whole donkey rolling every single round, trying to hit these Nicos. It doesn't really make sense. I think you should accrue that extra gold or 2, because the one extra gold or 2 might actually be the roll that it would have taken to try to hit that Nico 3, because it's such a difficult win condition to hit, you know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to speed this up here again. I don't know why I was playing at regular speed. I apologize. But we can see Emily Wang's actually approaching Urgot 3. This is like a crazy game. And Emily, again, she played this game terrifically. She played this very well. Played it so unbelievably well, actually. Just it's such a great representation of her incredible fundamentals. But here's we can see she's downplaying just double Urgot. She's just like fucking around. But again, this is the sort of stuff that you can't be doing. Like I said before, just because it seems like your game is about to win out does not mean that you can just turn your brain off and not think about, you know, what are the other win conditions for his opponent, right? You can see here she's rolling aggressively, not looking at Curve's board. He's 1 life. He's 1 life. Check his board. For the love of God, just check his board before you roll down. That way you know what you're looking for as you're rolling down, because we know about the Nicos, right? But, I mean, there's always times where a different win condition may present itself for the opponent. And here, as we can see, she's rolling down. Oh, she hits a Nico. Oh, great. She thinks she knows that, you know, Curve's looking for that Nico 3 or whatever, right? And, you know, you think she's doing a great job here. But guess what happens? She doesn't scout at all. She's thinking, oh, the game's over. I hit 2 Nicos. Boom. Boom. Boom, bitch. This bitch, Kurum, Leona 3. Protector's Vow, RFC, Oxforce. And funny enough, Emily actually missed a Leona. She actually missed a Leona about a round ago. Had she had thought to herself, wait, Kurum, the only win conditions for Kurum are Leona 3? Which, I know, like, you could argue, like, dude, if I'm expecting my opponent to hit Leona 3, then I'm a moron, right? Understandable, right? But regardless, though, the only way that Kurum could ever even try to hope to beat her board was hitting 2 Leona 2s, and then maybe they could clean up the board, right? Those are the only potential win conditions, along with the Nico 3. So, while she did do a great job trying to find the Nicos as well in that last roll down, she needed to quickly just scout his board, just make sure that there weren't any other win conditions presented and available to her. Or available to him, rather, right? So, as we can see here, she talks shit. Can you just FF and save some time, man? He writes, shut the fuck up. Oh, that is a shame. GG's. And there we go. Emily going, unfortunately, into second. If she was ranked 1 North America, maybe she would have went first. But I digress. Anyways, that is the video. I hope you guys learned something, and happy climbing.